Tonight, this is the center of the NBA's universe, and we know one man who is ready. In Vancouver on Saturday night, Patrick Ewing was assertive, scoring 23 points and grabbing 23 rebounds. But even he couldn't carry the Knicks past the Grizzlies. One night earlier, things were completely different, but the same for Ewing. Completely committed in one of the best games of the year. His 41 points shocked Seattle and came in great variety. That one sent the game to overtime, where he dominated some more. Yes, he is very ready for what lies ahead tonight. Back in December, Michael Jordan was kept quiet until it mattered. The fourth quarter when he scored 10 in a Chicago win. That's one punch, now the second. Scottie Pippen is second on the team in scoring, leads them in assists, and is having an MVP year. Maybe the best of his 9 years in the league. Now things get hairy. Outrageous in every regard, yet Dennis Rodman rebounds to a higher average than any other player. He avoids shooting, relishes his role, and is perfect for it. So here we go. Bulls, Knicks. Big-time basketball with a definite edge to it.
Also from three-point land. At one stretch, they hit 7 in a row.
Yes, make it 14 for them in that game. 14 for 22. And Marv, the message is pretty clear tonight. The Knicks have to play at a level they haven't played at very much this season for a sustained period. They're capable of it, though. That game in Seattle turned a lot of heads on Friday night.
The officials, Hugh Evans, Bernie Fryer, and Mark Wonderlich. The Knicks had lost their last 2 here at home, 4 of the last 6. Then they went to the West, and it looked very promising. The win against the Clippers in Los Angeles, the very impressive performance led by Patrick Ewing in beating Seattle in Seattle, but the loss to Vancouver Saturday night spoiled it.
However, Patrick Ewing had a very consistent trip. He was excellent. He needs some help tonight, and he has to turn it on big time himself.
Ewing and Longley on the opening tip. Controlled by the Knicks. Harper, played by Jordan. Ewing flashing down low. Ewing stopped by Longley. Luc Longley with the block shot.
He is 7-2.
Now Rodman comes out to clear it. Jordan for Longley got off to the fast start against the Pistons on Sunday. The combination of Luc Longley and Ron Harper added to the overall game of the Bulls. They each had excellent first quarters against Detroit in that last outing. Here's Harper off the mark. Air balls. He tries the three-pointer. Derek coming off a 6-point game against Vancouver the other night that equaled a season low as he hit 3 of 8 from the field.
Looks like Derek makes it difficult for himself when he starts the game with 3-point shooting.
Now Jordan, yes, Michael Jordan over Derek Harper. So the Knicks are opening up with Harper against Jordan, and a travel on Starks.
We know that the Knicks can count on home court support. Therefore, it's kind of important that they get off to a good first quarter.
Rodman set the pick, and Starks knocked it away. Here's Ewing putting the move on Longley. Now, normally you say you don't want to see an outlet from Oakley to the big man Ewing, but Patrick Ewing handled it well on a difficult pass. Bulls 4, Knicks 2. Champ of defense, Jordan. And Rodman with the rebound, so they get the new 24. Longley looking for the shot. And Hugh Evans calls a 3-second violation.
Pretty aggressive moves by Longley, too. Not afraid to bang into Ewing. I thought he was on his way to an offensive foul.
Charles Oakley, who made his return against the Grizzlies Saturday night after missing 2 games with the tendonitis in his left Achilles tendon. And it will be Chicago ball on that misfired pass. Oakley says, my fault.
The shame of that play was that Harper did a terrific job getting around Michael Jordan.
Longley setting the pick. Rodman rarely will look to shoot. And a foul. It's on Harper, called for the push.
Harper was in Michael's shirt there, a little bit too aggressive. It wasn't necessary to be that close.
Chicago Bulls have won 15 of 18 on the road. Their 3 losses this season have come on the road: at Indiana, at Seattle, at Orlando. Their last loss December 26th at Indiana. Harper rebounded by Ewing, and he pegs it down to Starks. Oh, John Starks in one motion off the beautifully thrown pass by Patrick Ewing.
I don't think there's a big man in the league that throws the long pass better than Patrick Ewing.
So the game tied at 4. Jordan, box out by Oakley. Mason against Pippen, spins him and hits. Here are the Bulls right back on the transition. The Knicks get back quickly. Pippen trying the three-pointer. Jordan wheeling it. Jordan challenges Ewing. And Mason with the rebound.
That Mason play was thrilling.
Mason nearly turned it over. Starks for Ewing. And Ewing tried to do it in one motion rather than catch and then go up. Knicks 6, Bulls 4. 3.5 in. Jordan played by Oakley on a switch, and it leads to the call of an illegal defense. Oh, you can feel it in the crowd here in these opening minutes. It's been a frantic pace. The Knicks have taken a 6-4 lead, and we're seeing some thrilling basketball right at the start.
Oh, and the fans love it. They'll just pick it right up and support the Knicks.
Bulls have missed their last 5 shots until then. Scottie Pippen has tied the game at 6, and a technical foul. Dennis Rodman hit with the early tee.
I don't know whether it was trash talk or an unsportsmanlike act, because Rodman immediately patted John Starks on the rear end, showing goodwill.
Apparently a taunting technical was called by Mark Wunderlich. All right, here's the play. We'll get another look at it. Yeah, there it is. That's a taunt. No question.
Of course, he might have gotten a verbal from John Starks that led to that the officials didn't hear.
And a poor inbounds pass from Starks, so the Knicks give it back. Knicks 7, the Bulls 6. Dennis Rodman is still complaining about that technical, although there's no question about the call. Pippen posting up. Harper with the open shot.
The Knicks are going to allow that while paying a lot of attention to Jordan and Pippen.
Harper with a 3. He's played well as of late. Bulls take a 9-7 lead. Mason, and fouled by Pippen. Remember that earlier game in Chicago back in early December? The Bulls were so effective in the second half as they went to the full court pressure and the trap. In the past, particularly when Horace Grant was on the Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson very successful in springing the traps from time to time. In that other game, he waited until the second half, particularly the fourth quarter.
Yes, the Knicks had 15 turnovers in that game to the Bulls only 9. And the greatness of their team is really defense. Any championship team it gets there because of their defense. And with all the luster of the Bulls and the greatness of the offensive style of Pippen and Jordan, when you look at what they do defensively, that really tells the story of why they are such a complete team. Not to mention Dennis Rodman in that department as well.
Bulls 9 and the Knicks 8. Nice fake by Jordan. And he was fouled. Fouled on Oakley. Charles Oakley, former teammate of Michael, still a very close friend of Michael Jordan's. Tried to pick him up on the switch and was called for the foul. Ewing stepping out. Oh, the recovery by Harper. What a play by Harper. Here's Pippen for Longley. The tip missed by Rodman. Ewing run into by Harper. Oh, and Ewing ran in the direction of Harper looking to go after him. Did not appreciate that foul, and technicals being called. Ewing was cut off. And now Dennis Rodman.
I think Jordan's trying to cool down Ewing. He has great affection for Ewing. He doesn't want to see him ruin this game by overreacting and getting thrown out.
And Rodman was all over the official, Mark Wunderlich. It appeared he called a double technical. Let's see. Harper on the personal. No, only the technical on Ewing. So Jordan will shoot the tee.
Ewing and Harper just hugged at half court. Harper is a very low-key athlete.
And Harper, a native of Cleveland, is also friendly with Charles Oakley. There is the mutual pat or hug. Rodman with the rebound. So this game off to an explosive start.
Ewing took 2 huge falls in about a half minute of play. Meanwhile,
Michael Jordan with a second field goal. He has 5 points. Bulls 12, Knicks 8.
Harper wanted to get around Jordan, but Jordan's feet moved too quickly.
Starks nearly gave it back. Mason facing a double team. Starks eluding Harper. John Starks is all fired up. And the Bulls now lead by 2.
Marv, that jump shot, that move that Starks executed, the Knicks want to see more of. You don't have to live on 25-foot bombing.
Pippen met on the switch. Now Mason on the recovery, guarding Pippen. Harper for 3. Ron Harper with his second from downtown. Ron Harper shooting only 29% from three-point range coming into tonight. And Derek Harper lost it.
He couldn't beat Jordan off the dribble.
Jordan around Starks. Michael Jordan popping one up, although off balance. Here is Starks. Yes. Bulls 15, the Knicks 12.
Harper's dying to take Jordan to the basket, and he beats most people, but so far he can't get around Michael to the hoop.
5:45 remaining in this first quarter. Pippen actually lost the dribble and then recovered. Harper on the hesitation dribble around Jordan. And it's an offensive foul. He got the step on Jordan, but was met by Ron Harper. And so the charge call. Timeout taken. We'll be right back.
Well, here's a Marriott Marquis look at the Knicks pushing the ball up court. Patrick Ewing slipped, ball went out of bounds. Patrick very upset. That was his second major fall. He went after Harper. Technical foul called, and Michael Jordan, another look at it. Jordan came over to help Patrick out of his anger. How many opponents would do that to an opponent to help benefit their cause? The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Starks lost his balance and went down as he tried to defend against Pippen. 3-point Chicago lead as we come up on 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Now Pippen posting up. Played very well by Starks. Had a change, adjusted to the fadeaway.
Good rebounding position for Mason.
Oakley fumbled it. Oakley took his eye off the ball looking for the shot.
Many times a player wants to move before they actually get the ball.
Here is Ron Harper on fire. That's his third from downtown. And the Bulls lead 18-12. Ron Harper Coming into tonight, averaging just a shade over 7 points per game. He's been more of a defensive presence.
Unbelievable. Coming in tonight, he's only made 11 threes all season.
And a foul committed by Longley. That is his first. The Chicago Bulls, with that record of 15-3 on the road, at home they are 19-0. And Derek Harper continues to struggle with the long-range shot. Bulls overall have won 27 straight at home. That dates back to last season. Ewing on a switch guarding Pippen. So Pippen around him for the floater.
The 3 losses were due to poor shooting to a great degree. They shot 43% in 2 of those 3 losses and 39% in the other. So that's what the Knicks have to work at.
14-5 run by the Bulls, and Ewing with his second field goal. Chicago 20 and the Knicks 14.
Marv, I don't think the Knicks can give the ball to Ewing enough tonight.
Head fake and a series of fakes by Longley. Rodman is right there.
I don't understand how Rodman could be so free like that with not getting any attention. One of the great rebounders.
Off the steal, 3-on-1. Pippen for Jordan. Oh, and he stops it, but it won't count. Offensive foul.
Jordan helping Oakley up. Well, Charles did his job. He was in the most difficult position a defender could be in. A 3-on-1, and he was the one.
Bulls with an 8-point lead. 3:05 remaining in this first quarter. John Starks. He's had the touch. 8 points for Starks, and the Chicago lead is now 6. Now Mason on a switch guarding Jordan. Here's Harper. Ron Harper missing. Derek Harper with the rebound and tripped up by Ron Harper. 4th team foul on the Bulls, and a timeout taken by the Knicks. 2:49 remaining in the first.
Well, you can assume the intensity is always there between these two teams, but we're getting an exercise in good sportsmanship. Ewing, Harper had a little trouble before. They shook hands. Charles Oakley on the floor, helped up by Michael Jordan. Dennis Rodman over to help up Derek Harper. Very interesting. Good sportsmanship by these high-intensity professionals, but don't count on seeing that tomorrow night when the Knicks are in Miami.
Yeah.
Pat Riley doesn't like his team to help up opponents.
Oh, Starks stripped. He thought he was fouled. Jordan's pass broken up. Good play by Oakley. And the Knicks on the run. The Bulls get back. Starks fires for 3. And rebounded by Jordan. 2:25 left. First quarter. Bulls have a 6-point advantage. Again, Pippen looking to use the height advantage. Played well by Starks. Don Nelson opening with Derek Harper on Michael Jordan. Now Starks switching off, and Michael, with memories of the 55-point explosion of last March, hits the jump shot.
The switch wasn't quick enough. He had a half a second, and he canned that jumper.
24-16 Bulls. Ewing. And rebounded by Rodman. Dennis with the stare at Oakley as if to say, how dare you think you're going to get a rebound.
I think Don Nelson would like to see his team swing the ball a bit and spread the offense out. They tend to be rushing the shots a little.
Shot clock at 7. Jordan in the jump shooting mode. That has been his style, and he has been on fire from the perimeter. Over the last 5 games, he has averaged 40 points per game, including the 48-point explosion against the 76ers. 22nd timeout is called by the Knicks. Bulls now lead by 10. You mentioned tomorrow night in Miami. It will be the Knicks and the Miami Heat on MSG2 tomorrow night. Knicks game night at 7 o'clock. Second meeting of the season between these two clubs. The Knicks beating the injury-hit Heat in Pat Riley's return here at Madison Square Garden. That was an 89-70 ball game, but Pat has some of the troops back, although it's been a struggle for the Heat recently, what with all the injuries and the ailments.
Well, they finally got a win last night, so they're feeling better about themselves as they look to the Knicks tomorrow.
Derek Harper being surrounded, followed by Ron Harper and Michael Jordan. Starks for three. Rebound Oakley. Charles Oakley on the box out. And the Bulls now lead 26-18. But you get the idea. Phil Jackson has told his guys, go get them. They are now ball hawking.
You see now, Marv, on that last sequence, the Knicks moved the ball. They had balance in their offense, and when the shot was missed, that balance got them a rebound.
Just under 1 minute left in the first. Now Jordan played by Mason. Well, Michael doing it first against Harper, then Starks, and now Mason. And Jordan is 5 of 9. He has 11 points. Ewing gets it out to Mason. And here is Harper for three. And Derek is now 0 for his last 10 from downtown. Harper on the drive. Had to change the shot as he was met by Pippen. Ron Harper for three. Oh, Oakley goes down but able to save the rebound. Mason, with 10 seconds to go in the quarter, gets it to Harper and broken up. So it will be Nick Ball with 7 and 8/10 seconds to go first quarter.
Derek Harper is so anxious to score and add to the offense, and he's having a very frustrating first quarter here.
Here is Steve Kerr replacing Michael Jordan, so the Bulls will provide a rest, a brief rest for Jordan. Steve Kerr also on the floor for the possibility of a long-range shot if the Bulls get it back. Derek Harper sitting down now, replaced by Gary Grant. And here is Tony Kukoc making his first appearance. Ron Harper departs. Ron Harper with 3 from downtown. He has 9 points. Down to 5 seconds in the quarter. Ewing giving it back to Oakley. What a play! 1 and 6/10 seconds remaining. And that will do it. After 1 here at the Garden. The Bulls 28 and the Knicks 20. The Bulls led by Jordan with 11. Well, so many memories regarding that magical night last March the 28th, although the memories not necessarily on the positive side for the Knicks, but a game that will not be forgotten when Jordan scored 55 points against New York. And we talked about it with Michael.
Well, Michael, when you think back to last season's explosion at the Garden, the 55 points, any particular moment that stands out, something you remember about that game?
The pass. Everyone thought I was going to shoot it, and yet I still had the conscious effort to pass the ball to the open man. I mean, who would love to take the last second shot? But, I mean, for the better of the team, the man was wide open out. I was able to pass the ball, and that was the highlight of the night, really.
That's as close as you come to get to Michael Jordan to say something strongly about himself. You know, he almost lured him in there, Marv, to say, I made a great play.
Luc Longley opens up the second quarter, and the Bulls with a 30-20 lead. But that was a surprising conclusion with Jordan spotting the open Bill Wennington, and that turned out to be the game winner. And certainly one of the memorable plays in the NBA career of St. John's product, Bill Wennington. Kukoc with the rebound. Kukoc with Pippen, Rodman, Longley, Kerr now on the court. And last touch by Grant.
I see Kukoc's minutes are down this year. 22 minutes a game. Played over 30 minutes a game on the average last year. Probably a lot of that to do with the presence of Rodman now, and also less rebounding responsibility for Kukoc.
John Starks sitting down, leads with 8 points. Hubert Davis on the floor for the first time, and a tough assignment. He's going up against the 6'7" Scottie Pippen. Well, Michael Jordan getting a rest here at the start of the second quarter. Foul called on Davis. In the first quarter, the Knicks were 9 for 19, and the Bulls 12 of 25, but the Knicks turned it over 8 times. The Bulls with 4. Kerr guarded by Grant. Here's the post up with Pippen looking for position on Davis, and a foul. Foul on Grant for the hand check. Bulls have a 10-point lead. It is their biggest lead of the game. Kukoc got the step and a foul on Mason. For Anthony Mason, his first. Anthony Mason making the news portion of the news the past 24 hours for the alleged involvement in the fight at a nightclub in the early hours. Here's Pippen getting inside. And the Bulls now lead 32-20.
That's a killer matchup with Hubert Davis trying to deal with the 6'7" Pippen.
Grant's pass broken up. Ewing on the recovery. Oakley with a blind pass. Knicks fortunate to get it back. Here's Grant for three. Gary Grant, who has not been receiving the playing time recently, able to hit from downtown. 9-point Chicago lead. Casual pass thrown by Rodman and threw it away.
He felt Longley had the position, but Longley was played tough and was in motion.
Knicks now have Grant and Davis in the backcourt. Ewing with Mason and Oakley up front. Grant saw the opening. Oh, wild shot. Not a good play. Actually trapped himself after he got the step. Pippen guarded by Ewing. Rejected by Ewing. Davis. He had the moves on Kukoc and then was fouled. Kukoc called for his first, and here comes Michael Jordan. So Scottie Pippen will get a rest. 6 points for Pippen. Michael Jordan has been saying glorious things these days about Scottie Pippen, emphasizing he feels that Scottie right now is the best overall player in the NBA.
You know, it'd be interesting, Marv, if the season ended right now and the MVP votes went out and the considerations were made. Pippen would be right there with Jordan. It's not inconceivable that he would be ahead of Jordan in some people's minds who see the Bulls quite often. That's some statement about Pippen.
Kukoc for three. And Longley with the rebound. Here's Kukoc for three again. Good play by Mason, but the save lands in the hands of Kukoc, and he's fouled by Ewing. Tony Kukoc coming off a strong game against Detroit on Sunday. Michael Jordan saying that this is really Scottie's team. I'm just a glorified role player.
Yeah, I'll say this right now, Marv. Michael Jordan is full of it.
Sean, I'm shocked. Michael Jordan also said he'd like to play 3 more years. And he said he'd like to play for the Bulls as long as Scottie Pippen is re-signed, as long as Phil Jackson remains as the head coach.
You think Jerry Krause is listening? I do.
Ewing. And Jordan with the rebound. Knicks have gone cold. They're down 32-23.
There is just no pressure on the Bulls defensively when Ewing is not down low.
And the foul on Davis. Jason Caffey, the rookie from Alabama, has come on for the Bulls for the first time. Has not been getting much playing time. And here is Charles Smith checking in for the first time, replacing Charles Oakley. Charles Smith sat out in Vancouver with a bruised right hip. You recall he had the strong game against his former team, the Los Angeles Clippers, last Wednesday, and then did not have a good one against Seattle. Not able to get going and did not see the playing time. Bulls now lead by 10 points. Jordan 2 of 2 from the line. Michael Jordan with the healthy lead in the scoring race on Karl Malone of Utah. Nelson staying with Grant and Davis at the guards. Ewing, Mason, Smith up front. The matchup is Smith with Kukoc.
Knicks are favoring Mason now down low. They're gearing their offense to him, and he succeeds in drawing the foul.
And the foul is on the rookie, Jason Caffey. Jason Caffey has had knee problems. Had the knee difficulties earlier in the year and was on the injured list. Caffey guarding Mason. Kerr off the turnover.
You just don't expect Kerr to steal the ball from Gary Grant.
The steal by Grant. Hit on the reach-in by Kukoc. That's 2 on Kukoc. Here at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks have won 5 of the last 6 regular season games against the Bulls. Overall, though, the Bulls have won 3 straight and 4 of the last 5. Obviously, things turning back around with the return of Michael Jordan last season. Now Mason posting on Caffey. And goes to the fadeaway. And gets the roll. Bulls lead 33-25.
It's interesting, Marvin, the history of the relationship between the Bulls and the Knicks over the many years. It's tied exactly at 71.
Oh, nice play. Give and go. Jordan blew the layup. Pretty pass from Longley. Grant's pass picked off by Caffey. Now Smith guarding Jordan. Longley. Oh, Caffey, good play, and he's doing a nice job.
Oh, that was Patrick Ewing. Patrick should have owned that rebound.
Jason Caffey getting inside and able to convert. The Knicks now trail 35-25. Derek Popper, who was not able to get going offensively, getting set to check in. Hubert Davis. That's his first shot. Bulls by 8. We come up on 6 minutes to go in the half. Kerr lost his footing. Recovered by Caffey. Rebound Longley. Bulls 37. Knicks 27. And Ewing not getting any help off the boards.
There's got to be more fervor from Charles Smith.
Here's Smith. So Charles Smith connects on his first field goal attempt.
I refer to the boards and the physical part of the game where the Knicks really need him.
Bulls lead by 8. And the chant of defense. Jordan with the series of fakes. 14 for Michael Jordan, who is posting up now upon occasion. Rarely saw that the last couple of games. He has been strictly a jump shooter. Ewing popping it back out. Open shot for Davis. Yes, a 3 for Hubert Davis. The Bulls now lead 39-32.
As the season wears on, Marv, it becomes clearer and clearer how important Hubert's dimension is to the Knicks. He's so reliable.
Oh, Longley leading Jordan on the alley-oop. Bulls 41 and the Knicks 32. Jordan with the steal. Kerr's pass broken up, and a foul is called. And Michael was streaking down court, and I have the idea we would have seen something somewhat interesting.
back at the Garden where Neil Smith's New York Rangers haven't lost in 21 games. He's with his wife Katya, and we spied you checking out Dennis Rodman very, very carefully. What was that all about?
Well, I was just trying to figure him out, what he's all about, because he's something special.
Special in what regard, Neil?
Well, he looks special and he plays special. I mean, he's a great player and obviously just takes life very easy, and very interesting athlete.
I just took a walk around this building. It's really special tonight, and it really whets your appetite for springtime, doesn't it?
Well, it's electrifying. I haven't seen the Garden this excited since the St. Louis game.
When Mike Keenan returned.
That's right. Something about it. Dennis Rodman, Mike Keenan.
Oh, very nice parallel. Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Back to you, Marv.
I know Mike will be delighted with that comparison.
Right.
Hubert Davis with the touch. He has 7 points, and the Bulls now lead 44-34. Doug Christie getting set to come on for the first time. Neil Smith's Rangers coming off the solid win over the Los Angeles Kings last night, and they'll be back home tomorrow to take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Here is Hopper, changed his mind on the shot, and it's wrestled free by Bill Wennington, who's on the floor for the first time.
Mason did an excellent job on Jordan last time down, as he does again, and still Jordan with a spectacular finish.
18 for Michael Jordan, and certainly a different scenario in contrast to the earlier meeting in Chicago. Jordan was 3 of 17 going to the fourth quarter. Oakley gets inside and he's fouled, hit from behind by Wennington. 2:12 left in this first half, and the Bulls have had their way. They're up 46-34. Now both clubs are over the limit. Wennington with his first, and Doug Christie has checked in. Doug Christie, who had a good one against Seattle in his hometown, played a season high 25 minutes Friday night. Let's see how Don Nelson will use Christie, who is either, pick your definition, big guard, small forward.
This is a very a great test for Christie and his ability to play under control, because he can do the spectacular, as we've witnessed from time to time, and the tendency will be, should be rather, not to try and look to do that, just to play solid.
And it is Christie guarding Jordan. Oakley helping out as Jordan splits his way through. A foul is called, and it is on Christie. A reach-in foul. Here's Mason back. Oakley sitting down. Oakley 6 points, 4 rebounds.
Jordan was unhappy about some part of the call there. He went over to Bernie Fryer and pleaded his case.
2 of 3 at the line, and now has 19 points. Michael Jordan, 84% free throw shooter, averaging 31.7 to lead the NBA.
It's amazing how routinely looking this 20 points has been for Michael.
Biggest lead of the night. Bulls by 13. Here's Christie traveling. Doug Christie.
Marv, at this stage, just shouldn't do that. I mean, you just shouldn't make a play like that at this stage.
But you made mention of the ups and downs of Doug Christie. Sometimes gets a bit too excited. Pippen on the alley-oop. Not able to connect. Jordan led him, but it was slightly off the mark. Derek Harper very quiet offensively. Hubert Davis for Patrick Ewing. Yes. And the Bulls lead 48-37.
Hubert has been terrific here in the first half.
Now Mason on Jordan. Christie going for the steal. Wennington able to hold on. Shot clock at 6. Down to 3. Pippen for 3. And Ewing with the rebound.
Very tough to get the Bulls in a fast break situation where you can run through them. Their defensive transition is always very good.
And an illegal defense called. That is the first such violation on Chicago. Knicks get a new 24. Phil Jackson having a very quiet night to this point. The Zen philosopher of the NBA just taking it all in. Christie fire the three. Dennis Rodman with rebound number 10. Reddington not able to hold on. 40 seconds to go in the half. Harper with a change of direction again comes up short. Davis able to get it back. And here's Davis on the drive. York Davis with a terrific first half. He has 9. The Bulls lead 48-39. 25 seconds remaining of the half. Ewing hanging back against Jordan. And a 20 taken by the Bulls. So they'll talk over this final sequence. They have 15 on the shot clock and 20 seconds to go in the half. Busy stretch for the Chicago Bulls. Tomorrow night they are home for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Friday home for Miami, and then Sunday they play a home game against Phoenix before heading out to the western climate. They'll be at Houston, then at Sacramento.
Here's a look at Hubert Davis on the move a moment ago. Pushed that ball out in front of him. He looked the Bulls right in the face and went by them, ignored them for 2 points. And as you said, Marv, he has been the Knicks' best player in the first half.
All 9 points coming in the second quarter. Tony Kukoc checking back in. He will inbound. Both teams are over the limit. Harper extending on Jordan. Michael throwing the head fake. Shot clock at 5. Down to 3. Jordan rebounded by Ewing. A good stop by the Knicks. Final seconds of the half. Davis for 3 and then some. I think the Knicks have to feel fortunate in the way they were outplayed, that they are down by only 9, and it cannot be satisfying for Phil Jackson.
I think too the Knicks are going to work hard now at thinking about Patrick Ewing a little more in the second half.
Bulls 48, Knicks 39 at the half.
Back in the front row at the Garden, not a bad place to be. You'll never know what you see. How about Earl the Pearl Monroe with a Knicks teddy bear? I don't even want to know Earl. And Whoopi Goldberg in a speaking part. Ms. Goldberg, would you please?
Absolutely. It's now time for Marv and John.
Extremely well done. Al always gets the high-priced talent, doesn't he?
You know, Marv, it's interesting to see Whoopi. She's really getting into this NBA thing. I know she's starring in a movie called Eddie, which will be coming out soon, as a Knicks coach. She's doing some coaching, and I understand from my sources that you're one of her co-stars.
It's another dramatic role in the resume.
Looking forward to it.
And a difficult role to play myself.
I'll buy a ticket too. Right. Toyota matchup, Jordan and Harper. Oh, what a nightmarish first half in Derek Harper. Michael Jordan, it's kind of routine. 8 out of 16, 20 points. Some rebounding, some assists. We go into our look at the halftime stats. The Knicks shooting the ball well. They didn't get as many shots, though, because of the offensive rebounding of the Bulls. Not many free throws for either team.
And it is Chicago ball as the third quarter gets underway. And they open with their usual starting lineup. Longley got the step. And no help for Patrick Ewing.
Well, it just Longley at 7'2" shouldn't be able to dribble around Patrick either, Marv.
Longley is 4 of 7. He has 8 points. Anthony Mason called for flashing the elbow. Offensive foul. And the Bulls get it back.
I think from the Knicks' perspective, their first order of business at the offensive end is to get Ewing some shots. In 23 minutes, he took 8 shots. Jordan took 16.
Michael Jordan, 8 of 16, 20 points in the first half. Make it 23. As he hits from downtown, the Bulls open up a 14-point lead. They double up on Harper, so the Bulls go to the trap, and it pays off. The double team of Derek Harper leading to the drive by Ron Harper. Mason spinning, gets it to Ewing. Open shot for Starks. Three-pointer for John Starks. Bulls 55, the Knicks 42. 11 for Starks.
The shooting guard position, Starks and Hubert Davis, is really doing it. They're both shooting very well.
And Rodman run into by Oakley. That's 3 on Charles. The Chicago Bulls with a record of 34-3. That's the best record in the NBA. They've won 11 straight. Gunning for magic number 70. 70 wins. The block by Ewing. Recovered by Pippen. The NBA record 69-13. A travel on Ron Harper, and with a pushing and shoving. I believe in good-natured fashion by Oakley.
Well, you'd have to be a sociological expert to figure that one out, because he pushed Harper pretty hard and there was no response. So I guess they like each other.
Derek Harper draws the foul. The 1972 Los Angeles Lakers went 69-13, and that the most wins in a single season. 71-72 Lakers, followed by the 76ers, who went 68-13. Those are the Lakers of Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West and Gail Goodrich. Pat Riley was on that team. Coming off the bench, Jim Clemens, who is now an assistant coach with the Bulls, was a rookie on that Lakers squad. And the 67, there is Jim, next to Jimmy Rogers, another assistant coach. 67 Philadelphia 76ers, led by the likes of Wilt Chamberlain, Billy Cunningham, Luke Jackson, Hal Greer, Chet Walker. Bulls by 11. 2 minutes gone by in the third.
At 72, Marv, 73 team, the Celtics was beaten by the Knicks, who ultimately won the championship that year.
Jordan stepping back to fire the three. Starks on the run, chased by Jordan, delivers to Mason. Mason going by the basket. That got the crowd roaring. And now Harper with the steal. Ewing back. Here's Jordan dishing off for Pippen. And the Bulls lead by 13.
The Knicks really need some smart backcourt leadership now. They've got to get the ball to the right people. That's Derek Harper's job.
Ewing. Rodman with the rebound. Dennis Rodman with rebound number 12. That is tops in the game. Mason now on Jordan. Shot clock at 3. Down to 1. It is a 24-second violation. So the Knicks get it back. They're down by 13. They've trailed by as many as 16.
The Knicks need an injection of spirit, Marv. They seem to be 5 individuals out there now. They've lost their fire that they had earlier.
And Starks hit on the reach-in by Harper. I think the damage was done, although usually one game does not relate to another. But had they beaten Vancouver, I think that the crowd would have been more fired up. I think the Knicks would have been more fired up. It really spoiled what was going to be just a magnificent road trip. You know, you take 2 of 3 in the West, you say, hey, that's pretty good. Beat the Clippers, but that win in Seattle was huge, and they gave it right back in terms of their feelings by losing in Vancouver.
Because you weren't there in Vancouver.
Well, I didn't want to get into that, John.
But they've been deflated somewhat by the greatness of some of these individuals that they're facing. but that doesn't mean that their spark and their fire should go automatically. The question is, who is going to light them up? Who's going to turn them on so they come back together and start communicating with each other on the court as they were doing throughout earlier parts of this game?
John Starks trying to fire up the team, clapping his hands all over the floor, switching off. Oakley knocks it away from Rodman. 3-on-2. Starks for Ewing, for Mason. And that leads to a Chicago timeout. Bulls by 9. 8:05 remaining third quarter.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Well, the Knicks sprung that ball loose thanks to Charles Oakley's hands. Oh, Starks to Ewing to Mason. What a terrific exchange. The one area where the Knicks are beating the Bulls tonight is fast break points.
And Don Nelson's team with a 9-2 run. So trailing by 9 points. Knicks go to the trap. Oh, Pippen lost it. And he's called for the travel. Starks and Hopper at the guards. Oakley, Ewing, Mason up front. Starks, yes! John Starks helping to ignite the Knicks here in the third. It cuts it to a 7-point Chicago lead. Mason continuing to guard Jordan. Pippen. Ewing with the rebound. 11-2 run by the Knicks. And that was knocked out of bounds by Pippen.
The Knicks really have to unleash Patrick Ewing.
He's taken only one shot in the third quarter. 3 of 9 overall, 6 points. Comes out and gets the ball from Oakley. Shot clock at 7. Doing it off the dribble. Had nowhere to go, and Jordan deflects it out.
It wouldn't hurt to give Patrick a pick either, so he could dribble around the big man that he wants to go one-on-one against.
Now the Knicks have only 4 on the shot clock. Oakley. Starks can't get it off. Scottie Pippen with a terrific play, stepping on the path of Charles Oakley. Try to draw the charge. And as it turned out, it messed up the play because Oakley had to give it up. In this 11-2 run by the Knicks, John Starks with 7 of the 11 Knick points. Pippen with the fake. Longley. Luc Longley has hurt the Knicks. In fact, he has outscored Patrick Ewing. Longley with 10, Ewing with only 6 points.
Longley hurt the Knicks in their earlier meeting with 13 points.
Ewing. Hopper continues to have problems and called for the foul. Derek Hopper with his third, and Derek is 0 for 6 from the field.
Derek reflecting also how poorly he felt he played against Vancouver the other night, and you know he wants to make it up, and he's certainly pressing a bit with his offense.
And Hopper with the tough assignment now going up against Pippen. Jordan for 3. 26 for Jordan. And the Bulls lead by 12. Mason. Jordan decides to pull it back. And a foul call. It is on Mason. That's his third.
I find it puzzling, Marv, how Charles Oakley is so out of the offense. 18 minutes of the first half, he took 3 shots. I mean, it's like the Knicks are playing with 4 men on offense.
And obviously bothered by that Achilles tendon injury. Does not have the same kind of jumping ability or second opportunity. He's usually good on the second hop. Here's Pippen, and the Bulls up by 14. .520 left in the third. And the Bulls have bounced back with a 7-0 run. Ewing double teamed, and it leads to the turnover. Jordan with the move on Harper, and then gives it to Pippen. And Pippen is hit by Starks. So the Bulls have settled down after that 11-2 Knick run. They're up by 14, and they have Pippen at the line.
Patrick Ewing under pressure coughs it up to Michael Jordan. Jordan pushing it up court, gets the ball over his shoulder to Scottie Pippen, who draws the foul.
And Pippen hit on the first free throw. The Knicks with 18 turnovers now. Bulls with only 13. Scottie Pippen in his 9th season out of Central Arkansas. Longley able to keep it alive. So the Bulls maintain possession. Here is Jordan. Michael tonight is showing the entire repertoire. He has 28 points, and it leads to a Knick timeout.
Let's take a look now at the Marriott Marquis Skycam in action. Bulls spreading out the offense. Jordan working his way in, and he just kept going, slid that layup over the Knicks. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Well, John Kennedy Jr. on hand, a regular visitor, Madison Square Garden. And I would have to say that's a first sighting for Connie Stevens alongside actor Tony LoBianco, and she sees herself up above.
Tony's a regular, however, and he's sharing his intimate knowledge and expertise with Connie. Very nice.
Bulls with a 17-point lead, 4:40 to go in this third quarter. Doug Christie is back on the floor, as is Tony Kukoc, and Doug throws it away. Been a very shaky outing for Doug Christie. Nice pass, Rodman from Pippen, and now the Bulls are toying with the Knicks, as they did with the Pistons on Sunday afternoon.
Well, Marv, there is just no fire from the Knicks here in the second half.
Shot clock at 7. 12-0 run by Chicago. They double up on Mason, who squeezes it through, forced into the bad shot, and a 24-second violation. It did not hit the rim.
It could not be going any worse for Don Nelson right now and his team. They're just lifeless. They have no guns firing at all. But you want to see the guys pour their hearts out before this thing gets any worse.
20 turnovers now by the Knicks. Patrick Ewing getting a rest, but he's about to come back. Here's Pippen. Make it 71-50. Christie with the fake, and another turnover. Doug Christie is lost on the court.
He's taking a few steps back after some sparkling moments on the trip.
And Oakley will sit down. Ewing checks back in. Ron Harper delivering to Tony Kukoc. And here is Harper for 3. And a loose ball foul call. It is on Rodman. 3:07 remaining in this third quarter. The Bulls breaking it open with that run. The Knicks appear to be back into it with that 11-2 spurt, but the Bulls with the answer. Here's Christie. Well done, Christie. With the stuff. The last Knick field goal, 4 minutes 40 seconds back, as Christie is finally able to put one down for the Knicks. 71-52 Chicago. Harper, Pippen, and pushed from behind.
Nobody was fighting Pippen for that position, but he had a clear shot at that rebound.
So Scottie Pippen to the line. He's 1 of 2. He has 15 points in all. Michael Jordan, the high man, with 28. High scorer for the Knicks, John Starks, with 15. And here's Longley back replacing Rodman. Dennis Rodman, 13 rebounds, 5 points.
Part of Pippen's greatness this year is expressed with his balance in all categories. 17th leading scorer in the NBA, 7th leading player in the steals department, 16th in the NBA in assists.
So the Bulls now lead 73-52. Ewing. And rebounded by Caffey. Jason Caffey back on the floor, played very well in the second quarter. Got 5 minutes, a couple of rebounds. Kukoc backing Christie, and a foul on Christie.
There are so many matchups that the Bulls have against the Knicks that make it very difficult. Christie working on a 6'11" man. Pippen working on John Starks or Hubert Davis with a 3 or 4 inch height advantage. Jordan over Derek Harper by 3 inches. Even Longley over Ewing by 2 inches. So the size factor here makes it very difficult for the Knicks.
The Bulls have hit 10 of 15 from the field in this third quarter. And they lead by 22 as they gun for win number 35 against only 3 defeats. They also come in with 11 straight wins. Longley on the save.
We have not seen a Ewing back to the basket move tonight. It's been pretty much facing the basket for jumpers or attempted drives, but he hasn't really gotten into his strength, low post, back to the basket wheeling moves at all.
And a foul as Pippen went baseline. Foul against the Knicks, who are over the limit. It is on Ewing, his second. And now Monty Williams, who received some playing time in Vancouver the other night and not played in the 7 previous games, about to check in, along with Charlie Ward. So Don Nelson just trying to shake things up. Doug Christie will sit down. John Starks will depart.
A lot of conversation, Ewing and Pippen right now. Boy, they're going at it verbally. Odd to see Patrick, or rare I should say, to see him so verbal with a player. However, they're dream team teammates, so I'm sure there's a lot of good feeling there and ribbing.
Well, I have a feeling that Scottie is talking about the score, which is now Bulls 76 and the Knicks 52. Ewing. A rare shot opportunity for Ewing is 4 of 11, only 8 points. And Ward able to come up with it. We come up on a minute left, third quarter. Ward gets it down low to Williams. Bad pass by Monty Williams. He hit Ewing in the knee. Ward for 3. Michael Jordan getting a long rest, sitting down with 28 points.
I note Phil Jackson whistling at the other end for his team to spread the offense out, and that's just what they do. They come down court and stretch out the offense and therefore the defense.
It's a 24-second violation. 29 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Here is Charles Oakley back. Anthony Mason. Bulls outscored the Knicks 28-17 in the third to break it open. At one point they had a 19-2 run. They shot 10 of 16 from the field. The Knicks only 6 of 15. And as we head to the fourth, it is a 76-56 Chicago lead. And John, this capacity crowd I think has been very kind. Very little booing. I think it's more of disappointment that the game has not been competitive. Jordan back on the floor, call for the foul on Ward.
Well, these people watch television and read the papers too, Marv, and they know that the Chicago Bulls have elevated above everyone else in the NBA. So there's a touch of reality too in their reaction. This is a great team they're seeing.
Oh, Ewing blew the stuff. Talking to Phil Jackson, though, his concern is getting home court advantage throughout the playoffs because he knows the potential Eastern Conference final against the Orlando Magic will be very, very difficult, particularly at the center position.
Yes, they also, like the Bulls, are undefeated at home at this point.
Here is Jordan delivering to Caffey. That pass was off the mark and deflected out. Last touch by the Knicks, Oakley and Ward hitting the floor. Bulls now have a backcourt of Kerr and Jordan. Longley up front with Kukoc and Caffey. Jason Caffey, #1 draft pick, rookie from Alabama, receiving the playing time. Opening minute, fourth quarter. Longley goes to the hook and came up with air. Got a piece of the net. Here's Ward spinning on Jordan. What a move by Charlie Ward.
Take that, Superman.
But that might motivate Superman to return the favor. 76-58 Bulls. Kerr for three. And Monty Williams with the rebound. Pegs it down. Here's Ward. Well, Charlie Ward with a couple of buckets. And the Bulls lead is now 16. Charlie Ward did a nice job Friday night in the game against Seattle. Played 31 minutes and played well. So 8 consecutive points by the Knicks. Ward diving for the ball. Longley. Luc Longley has had a very solid game. That's 12 points along with 8 rebounds.
The man has certainly proven he can hit the open jumpers, and he just waited for that ball to come his way.
Bulls by 18. 2 minutes in, fourth quarter. Steve Kerr all over Hubert Davis, and then Patrick Ewing threw it away. He thought he had Charlie Ward.
You know, Marv, if Charles Oakley is hurting, the man admits he's been in pain all year. What does Don Nelson think of Charles Smith's potential contributions? You know, I mean, Charles just isn't getting a game now.
Charles Smith playing only 5 minutes, and it is apparent that Oakley is not himself.
There's no fire with Charles. You know, he can be such an inspirational player to the Knicks. And he's almost, you just don't notice him here tonight.
Foul on Ewing, his third. Well, the Knicks, their first team foul, and a timeout is called by the Bulls. 9.5 left in the fourth quarter, and the Bulls up by 18. I know those MSG2 games can be troubling to your style, John. You'll have to come up big in Miami tomorrow night. We'll be checking that closely.
May have to wear a bow tie, Marv.
That's a novel thought. Where did that come from?
I don't know. And I may not.
Longley, well, his first hook shot attempt for the baseline was an air ball, but he comes right back with a pretty looking hook shot. Bulls with the edge off the board, led by Rodman, who has 13. Rodman sitting down right now. Bulls have a 20-point advantage. Ewing with a runner and rebounded by Longley. 3 minutes in, fourth quarter. Chicago by 20. It is now Kukoc running the team with Pippen on the bench. Caffey posting up. Caffey, and the whistle by Hugh Evans. Foul being called on the Knicks.
You know, it appeared that it was on Mason. You know, I'm just thinking, Marv, looking at Mason too. You know, no complaining, no real Anthony Mason presence either. No seething style from him. You know, he's not burning tonight.
You think he might be affected by the allegations in the after hours incident?
I really don't.
It's hard to read his mind, obviously, but
I think he and his teammates are together in their lack of fire.
We can't read his mind, but he certainly had to handle some tough situations in the last 24 hours.
I'm just won over by his normal intensity. I'm just assuming that he's just a victim of his team's inability to hang with the Bulls here, but you may well be right, to be fair to him.
I mean, not to say that I say tough situations, not to say that it was his fault or was not his fault, but he had to face up to whatever it was. But he has not been himself. And Hubert Davis to the line.
Well, the message that Anthony Mason is carrying around on his noggin is back to D. And it's not that the Bulls have that many points on the board, but they're far enough ahead of the Knicks to point out that the Knicks have been unable to contain them with their defense.
The Bulls 82, the Knicks 61. Jordan from Kukoc. Beautifully timed. Michael Jordan with 30.
Well, Hubert got caught just happy that Jordan was away from the ball, but he didn't know where the ball was, so he didn't even put the hands up.
Ewing and Kukoc with the box out on Smith. So Charles Smith back on the floor. Here is Kerr. Kukoc missing on the tip. And it will be Nick Ball. Seven minutes 45 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. In what has been a bleak performance by the New York Knicks. Returning home, they'll be in Miami tomorrow. Here is Ewing. Nice save by Kerr. Patrick Ewing now 5 of 16. Kukoc coming up short. Davis all the way. He looked off Ewing. Had the step. Could not convert.
Well, the Knicks have been unable to put pressure on the Bulls with driving attempts to the basket, as they haven't been hitting their shots that well, but they're not getting to the line much tonight.
Oh, good job by Caffey. And here is Jordan for three. Michael Jordan with his third from downtown.
There wasn't a Knick around him. He had plenty of time.
87-61 Chicago. 33 points for Jordan. And a travel on Ewing. Bill Weddington getting set. The check back in. Luc Longley will depart. A terrific game for Luc Longley. 14 points, 10 rebounds, and being congratulated over at the bench.
You know, Marv, I can't help but be distracted by Mr. Distraction, Dennis Rodman. The perfect teammate tonight. Did his job.
He's been like that right throughout.
Very much a team guy, though, as we just saw, as you pointed out. Very integrated into the team in every way.
Judd Bushler has hit the court for the first time. Here is Caffey getting it out to Kerr. Steve Kerr has been off. Rebounded by Bushler. Judd Bushler in his 6th NBA season out of Arizona. Guy who's played with the Nets, San Antonio, Golden State, now Chicago. With just under 6 minutes remaining. And Charles Smith with the rebound. Crowd beginning to file out.
Bulls continue to do a good job, even the subs, in spreading the offense out.
Mason stopped by the combination of Bushler and Caffey. Here is Kerr. Steve Kerr from downtown. That's his first bucket. And the Bulls now lead 90-61. How about this stat? Bulls 18 offensive rebounds. The Knicks only 3.
Steve Kerr, 3rd best in the NBA in 3-point shooting, coming in tonight a 50% shooter. That's Charlie Ward. Nice move by Charlie.
Kukoc, played by Herb Williams, who has come on for the first time. Caffey. And Davis with the rebound. Here is Davis. And he is fouled. Gary Grant will come on for the Knicks. And another substitution for the Bulls, Randy Brown. Randy Brown, in his 5th year out of New Mexico State, received a scare in the game against Philly last week. Randy Brown collapsed, but it turned out to be a case of dehydration from the flu. And he is right back in action. There he is. Signed as a free agent earlier this season. Good defensive player. And now Dickie Simpkins on the floor for the first time. #1 draft pick out of Providence last year. Bulls now lead it 90-64. Four and a half remaining in this 4th quarter. Bulls go to the weave, trying to set up Kerr. Weddington. And Smith with the rebound. So you can close the books on Michael Jordan. 33 points on 13 of 23. Monty Williams around Judd Bushler. Bulls lead 90-66. John, this crowd has really been very kind. As we discussed earlier, disappointed because of the lack of competitiveness. But perhaps it tells you, as Weddington is able to hit, the lack of expectations on the part of the Knicks going up against the Bulls.
Well, we know this certainly was the hottest ticket of the year. And those who had them were very happy to see the Bulls in action and hope that the Knicks would do well.
And now Grant being waved on for Davis. Hubert Davis providing a spark earlier tonight. But the Chicago Bulls on their way to making it 35-3, 12 straight wins, and 16 of 19 on the road, which is phenomenal. At home, they are 19-0. Kerr and Brown now in the backcourt. Bushler, Simpkins, and Weddington up front. Kerr on a crossover. Simpkins with the air ball. Here's Charles Smith. And he'll go to the line.
Well, with Jordan leaving the game, I neglected to mention a little point that I'm sure the real fanatics might know, but Michael this year now enjoys throughout his career a scoring average now in his 11th year of 32 a game, 32 points a game, the highest average scoring of anyone who has played this game. And I immediately went to Wilt and Kareem and found out that Wilt averaged 30 in his 14 years. Kareem 24 and a half in his 20 years.
In both cases, their final years affected them. The averages, remember Wilt, his last couple of years?
Yeah, he just set picks and handed the ball off. But interesting though, Kareem, once again, you get faced with his 20 years of durability, greatness.
Simpkins looking for the reverse slam. And drew the foul. Timeout is called with 2:53 remaining in the fourth. Well, a popular topic of conversation when the Chicago Bulls travel around is, can they hit the 70 win mark that was attained by this 1972 Los Angeles Laker club? They won 69, so the Bulls trying to surpass this Laker team. See number 11 in the back, Jim Clemens, now an assistant coach here with Chicago, as we mentioned earlier. Number 12 is a youthful looking Pat Riley.
With the hair down, as opposed to that slick back look that he made famous.
The Lakers of Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and Gail Goodrich going 69 and 13, and the Bulls, when this one is over, will be 35 and 3. The evening is over for Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. 19 for Pippen. Rodman with 13 rebounds. Jordan 13 of 23. He had 33 points. Monty Williams for the Knicks, and the Bulls now lead 94-70. The season low for the Knicks, 76 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers late December. They were beaten by the Cavs 86-76. The worst loss December 22nd in Orlando. They lost by 21, 111-90. This is Randy Brown shooting, and the Bulls lead 96-70, so it's a 26-point margin. Last season, the worst margin of loss. They were beaten by 25 in early December in Orlando. So, John, they're right there.
Well, Marv, the other interesting numbers here. The Bulls coming in tonight leading the NBA in scoring at over 107 a game. And their field goal percentage defense has been outstanding of late. The Knicks 44% on their home court tonight. Over the last 19 games, only the Bullets of Washington have shot 50% or better in a game against the Bulls. That's quite a mouthful when you talk about team defense. One team in 19 games has shot over 50%.
Herb Williams with his first field goal, 96-72, with a minute and a half left. Caffey and Monty Williams on the rebound. And for the Knicks here at the Garden, it'll be 3 straight losses. 4 of the last 6 at home. Smith. And the Bulls are up 96-74. It will not be a happy charter flight from New York to Miami. The Knicks play the Heat tomorrow night in Miami, an MSG2 game. And Simpkins comes up with it. Shot clock is at 5. Kerr from way downtown. Steve Kerr showing the range. That is his second three-pointer.
And the Knicks will most likely see Billy Owens and Alonzo Mourning, who they did not see in their first meeting.
Charlie Ward hitting the 3. And Charlie with 9 points. 4 of 6 from the field. 99-77 with 35 seconds to go. Bushler. Simpkins on the rebound. Bushler. Simpkins. And Herb Williams able to come up with it. A leg block called on Bushler with 21 seconds left.
And Kevin Willis.
Yes.
Tomorrow night. Actually, that's a front line that the Knicks did not see when they met Miami in Pat Riley's debut here. Mourning, Willis, Owens were not here.
Herb Williams for three. Monty Williams. And with 10 seconds to go, Kerr moves it down. Here's Brown. Rejected. Grant. And that will conclude what has been a brutal night for the New York Knicks. They are beaten by the Chicago Bulls 99-79. So the Bulls go to 35-3, 12 straight wins, while the Knicks at 24-15. Michael Jordan with 33 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. We'll be back to wrap it in a moment.
Good enough to join us here at courtside. Luke, I thought third quarter, key turn of the game. You guys are up 16. Knicks put together an 11-2 run, pretty strong, get it down to 7. And the Bulls' response is a 19-2 run. It's almost as if your team thinks they can take over the game whenever they want, and right now they can.
I wish we were that confident. They had us scared there at the beginning of the third quarter, and we started to bring our offense up, to a half-court level, and that spaced them out, and we started getting easy looks at the baskets behind them, and that was key for us.
Joining us also is Dennis Rodman. Dennis, congratulations on a good game.
Can you believe you got a double-double?
This is great.
Yeah, first for me.
Well, Dennis, we were talking about the third quarter where the Knicks made a run and you had the huge response to that. Can you put the 19-2 run that you had to recontrol the game to direct correlation of the Knicks getting back into it?
No, not really. I think that the team, we're committed to win. We're committed not to take anything for granted. We're committed to helping each other out and be productive. And as long as we can get double-double out of Luc Longley, we'll be a good team.
Yeah, Luke, you guys aren't going to play a team that has a Patrick Ewing type center, but when you do, that's when you have to rise to the occasion. You have to be very satisfied.
I am. That's when I earn my keep, and these guys were on me before the game trying to get me jazzed, and it worked. I think we ran into a cold night from Patrick too.
What's so funny?
Luc's got to earn his keep. He earned $2.5 million. He's got to earn it. And Patrick's already, $18 million?
Oh, yeah, God. He's having a good year.
He kicked his ass today.
Dennis, what was the key to you guys dominating the offensive board so much tonight?
It's just the fact that you got me going to the offensive board all the time. You got Luc, and all of a sudden you got Scottie. And all of a sudden you got 3 guys that can jump and put the ball back in the hole. And it's very difficult for New York to respond to that. They got Oakland and what's the other guy's name? Mason. Yeah. They got Mason, and everybody else is pretty much taken off. So that's the key to the game right there.
Did you face a Knick team tonight that was as intense and as rough as normal or not?
Oh, of course, but they don't have that fire like they used to. I mean,
you don't sense that out there?
I don't sense it at all. I think they're just pretty much happy to be on the floor, hopefully get a win, and we're not going to take that for granted, but if we can kick their ass any time of the day, we'll do it.
Well, Luke, I know Phil probably prepared you for this game as well as he did for any other. What did you do tonight in terms of – where are you going? Just hang around for a minute now. Come on.
Do this.
What did you execute tonight that he wanted you to execute?
And double teams. I mean, we forced Patrick to pass out of the post a lot, and the shots he did get were sort of 15, 20 footers, and he wasn't hitting them. So it worked for us, forced him off the block and got him out of his rhythm a little bit.
Dennis, I don't think I can remember a player who turns out to be such an instant perfect fit as you are for this team, but not only on the floor, for what Michael and this team has created in the past few years, this traveling sideshow. It's like the Beatles. You fit into that pretty well too, don't you?
Well, it's just like we have 12 guys that are committed to put everything to the side and play basketball, and that's the key here. We got 12 individuals that really want to win and win big, and this sideshow is just something that goes along with the territory. But as long as we keep our head this way, straight forward, we'll be all right.
Luke, what's your favorite sideshow story? What's the weirdest it's gotten?
But New York's where they happen. I won't tell them, but New York's where they happen.
Down under.
All right, you guys are halfway to 70. Thanks very much, Dennis.
All right,
congratulations.
All right, brother.
Luke, thank you.
Good on you, mate. Thanks.
All right. How about that? It was as if there were 2 for every 1 out there tonight, and that's what the story was here in the post game as well.